we are mixing contrast colors and also mixing the secondary colors using different ratio. You need a chart just like what you're seeing, and a palette with watercolors, brush, a flat brush, a water container, and an old cloth. Make sure you prepare 2 water containers. Right, so first up we're gonna do the mixing of contrast colors. I'm gonna show just the first set, which is red and green. Right, prepare your red and green and paint at each end of the chart or the boxes that you've prepared. Right, if you notice, my red is opaque while my green is transparent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back after the green dries and add another layer. Alright, now I'm adding 1 drop of green to my red, and I will paint it to the box that's just beside the red. Right, this exercise is for you to see or understand that by mixing contrast colors, you are going to get a neutral color, either a brown or gray, and the color depends on how much of red and green you add to it. So contrast colors, as we know, are opposite on the color wheel. When you put them next to each other, they get more intense and vibrant. Usually you use contrast colors for logo design when you want to capture someone's attention. So when we mix the contrast color, you're actually mixing the red, blue, and yellow, which are the primary color. So when you mix them, you get a neutral color, just like what I've mentioned, a low intensity color, a low intensity gray or brown. So it isn't vibrant, right? Imagine contrast colors are very vibrant color, but when you mix them, it becomes a low intensity color. So you can use this mixture of contrast color when you want to tone down your painting. Let's say your painting are using only red and green. So, and you when you look at it, you see the red at some part are too bright, too intense. So mix red and green and apply a layer on top of the red that you want to tone down. Right now I'm working on the green, so I'm adding red to the green. Keep cleaning your brush when you want to apply the mixture. Okay, if you notice, my colors become much redder as it moves on towards the middle. Okay, so redder, but you will notice that the colors are not bright, not intense. The saturation is very low, right? Unlike colors we take out of the tube, the colors when you mix them becomes less saturated, low intensity. Even if you compare this red that I'm painting now to the red that I painted earlier, it's so much lower in intensity. So you finish the other set. Now let's move on to mixing secondary colors using different ratio. I've prepared the chart. So the first is when you mix 1 to 2, 1 to 2 ratio. Second is an equal amount of paint, which is 1 and 1. And the last is 2 to 1, right? We'll start off with creating an orange. You'll need yellow and red, right? So I've painted my first one portion of yellow. Wash my brush, wipe it, and my red to 2 portion. Okay, so paint it. Be careful not to paint it too close to yellow. If you notice, my yellow was just painted, so it's still wet. So when you apply red, it might just seep or bleed to the other box, as you've seen happening to mine. So be careful. Alright, wash your brush and do the mixture. Right, so 1 portion of yellow and 2 portion of red. Mix together, it becomes a reddish orange. Right, why am I calling it reddish orange? Because the red element is more, the red pigment, the red paint is more, so it becomes a reddish orange. So this is my reddish orange. It differs with you, right? Because you're using a completely different brand of paint. And also depends on the amount of water you apply. Alright, so this exercise is for you to understand. Using different ratio and different amount of water, you create different type of paint. Alright, now the same portion of yellow and red, 1 to 1. Okay, paint it. Even if there is a gap in between both of the boxes, it's okay, because we're mixing the paint on the palette, not on the paper. Right, now I've mixed an equal number of red and yellow, so this is my orange. Perhaps your orange might look a little bit more opaque if you use less water. If you see, I've used a lot of water, so it's transparent. Okay, so done with that. I'm moving on to the third one, which is 2 portion of yellow and 1 portion of red. Okay, clean your brush. Okay, 2 portion. And red. Okay, now you will see my red is darker, right? So I've used less water. Right, so this is my yellowish orange. Okay, so I've done the first set. You are going to do the second